Listen to me. This is not how your story ends. I don't care how bad it looks right now. I don't care how far you've fallen. You don't stop, you don't fold, you don't break. Because real men, real warriors, don't walk away when it's hard. They double down. They grind through the blood, through the pain, through the failure, until they come out the other side with victory in their hands. You might be tired, you might be hurting, but so what? That pain, that pressure, that's not your enemy. That's the furnace that forges champions. That's the battlefield where greatness is born. You want to quit now? You want to throw it all away just because it's hard? Then you never wanted it bad enough in the first place. But if there's still a fire burning inside you, if there's still a voice screaming, keep going, then you fight. You fight like hell. Because it's not over until you win. Not when you've come this far. Not when you've got something to prove. Not when the world's dared to count you out. So wipe the blood off your face, lace up, and get back in the fight. This is your moment not to survive, but to dominate. Setbacks are not the end. Let's get something straight right now. Just because you've been knocked down doesn't mean you've been knocked out. Just because life hit you with a punch you didn't see coming doesn't mean you're finished. Hell no. You didn't come this far just to fold. You didn't grind, sweat, sacrifice, and fight through all that pain just to give up because it got hard. Of course it got hard. That's how you know it's real. Anybody can keep going when things are going their way. But real strength, real fire, real warriors, they show up when everything is going against them. Setbacks, they aren't your enemy. They're your initiation. They're testing your heart, your hunger, your obsession, your mindset, your discipline, and life. Life doesn't care how badly you want it. It will push you, break you, humble you. It'll strip away every excuse, every weakness, and dare you to rise again. And when you're on your knees, bleeding, questioning, tired, it'll whisper in your ear like a snake, this is the end. You're not good enough. Give up. Walk away. It's over. And in that moment, you either become the man who folds or the monster who wakes up. Because listen to me, the only man who's truly done is the one who says, I quit. The only defeat that's permanent is self-abandonment. You can lose the game. You can lose the girl. You can lose the money, the friends, the spotlight, the comfort. But if you keep your grit, if you keep your will, you haven't lost a damn thing. Because the fire in your chest, that's the real asset. That's what can't be taken. That's what makes you dangerous. You don't need sympathy. You don't need handouts. You don't need someone to save you. You need rage. You need purpose. You need that animal instinct inside you that says, no, I'm not done yet. This won't be my ending. You'll see me again, stronger, smarter, sharper, and next time I won't miss. Let the world count you out. Let them doubt you, let the pain stack up, let the pressure crush your shoulders, because that's how diamonds are made. That's how warriors are built. You want to be great? You want to leave a legacy? You want to look in the mirror with pride? Then you don't quit when it hurts. You double down. You lock in. You train harder. You sharpen your mind. You silence the noise. You use every loss as fuel. You use every scar as proof that you didn't back down. You wear every bruise like a badge of honor. Because setbacks don't define men, responses do. And your response, it better be war. Don't sit there and sulk. Don't make excuses. Don't wait for the perfect time or for someone to rescue you. Pick yourself up, put your back straight, clench your fists, stare down that failure and say, I'm still breathing, I'm still standing, so I'm still in the fight. And that's the truth. You don't need 100 reasons to keep going. You just need one. One reason to rise, one reason to fight, one reason to refuse to die where you fell. Because this isn't the end of your story. This is just the turning point. This is where the weak break and the relentless rise. So let them laugh, let them talk, let them doubt. But don't you ever mistake this chapter for the final page, because you're not built to break. You're built to dominate. You're built to take the setback and turn it into your origin story. This is not the end. This is the fire before the greatness, the silence before the storm, the pain before the power. And when it's all said and done, they'll look back at this moment and realize this is when you became unbreakable. When it gets hard, keep showing up. Let's get one thing straight. You don't become powerful when it's easy. You don't become great when the skies are clear and the road is smooth. You become great when you're being dragged through the mud and you still refuse to quit. You become great when your back's against the wall, your mind is screaming, your body is begging for rest, and you lace up your shoes and say, let's go again. Because anybody can show up when it's fun. Anybody can grind when they're winning. Anybody can talk tough when everything's going their way. But what about when you lose? What about when you give it everything and it still falls apart? What about when you get knocked flat and there's no one around to help you up? That's the test. That's the moment that separates men from boys. That's when you find out if you're serious or just pretending. See, most people only show up when the conditions are perfect, when the weather's nice, when the energy's high, when the crowd is clapping. But you show up in the rain. You show up when you're exhausted. You show up with cuts on your hands, blisters on your feet, and a storm in your mind. And you don't just show up physically, you bring your fire. You bring intensity, even if you're broken. You bring hunger, even if you're tired. You bring focus, even if everything in you is screaming to stop. Because that's who you are. You're not in this to be average. You're not here to play nice. You're here to dominate. And domination doesn't come from comfort. It comes from those brutal mornings when you wake up with no motivation, no support, no strength, and you still put your boots on and go to war. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Let them watch from the sidelines. Because while they're hesitating, waiting for motivation, crying about how hard it is, you're putting in the reps. You're stacking scars. You're becoming the kind of man who's dangerous in silence, the kind of man who doesn't need to talk, the kind of man who lets his actions do the screaming. Every single time you show up when it's hard, you sharpen the blade, you build mental toughness, you form discipline that can't be shaken by failure, fear, or fatigue. That's what real men do. They don't run from pain, they walk into it. They don't fold when it hurts. They fight harder. They don't wait for confidence. They earn it through war. And you better believe this isn't just physical. This is spiritual. This is mental warfare. Because the enemy isn't out there. He's in your head. He whispers, take it easy today. You've done enough. It's okay to quit just this once. And you answer back, not today, not ever. I didn't come this far to stop now. Because once you decide to keep showing up no matter what, you become something rare. You become a weapon, unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. You build momentum that can't be bought. You build a mindset that can't be taught. You become the type of man who can walk through hell and smile because he knows who he is. They won't see the lonely nights. They won't see the doubt. They won't see the days you nearly broke, but refused to. But one day they'll see the results. One day they'll look at you and say, I don't know how he did it. And you'll know. You did it because you kept showing up. In the dark, in the cold, in the pain, in the silence. And that's when you finally realize the pain was the process. The suffering was the sharpening. The battle was the blessing. So the next time it gets hard, good. Let it get hard. Let it stretch you, break you, humble you, and show up anyway. Because every time you do, you step closer to becoming the man you were born to be. You only lose if you quit. You ever hear of a man who failed 10 times, got laughed at, doubted, dismissed, and then won once, and that one win changed everything? That's not fiction. That's fact. That's reality for the ones who refuse to quit. You know why most people don't make it? It's not because they weren't capable. It's not because they didn't want it bad enough. It's because when life turned the heat up, they folded. When it got dark and quiet, they stopped moving. When no one clapped, they stopped showing up. They gave up at 90% right before the finish line, right before the miracle, because they couldn't see it, because it felt like nothing was happening. But listen to me, just because you can't see the result doesn't mean your effort is wasted. The work you're doing in the dark, it counts. The pain you're pushing through alone, it matters. That frustration, that exhaustion, that voice in your head telling you to quit, that's proof you're close. That's the final test. Because winners don't stop when it gets hard. They rise, they dig deeper, they lean into the fire, they say, bring it on. I didn't come this far to tap out now. It's not over until I win. See, the champions you look up to, they're not superhuman. They just refuse to stay down. They got back up when everyone else stayed on the floor. They didn't listen to the world when it said, maybe this isn't for you. They said, I'm not done until I win. You think greatness comes easy? You think victory shows up after one try? No, it shows up after the war. After you've been through hell and you're still standing. After you've failed, lost, bled, cried, and you still choose to move forward. You only lose if you quit. Read that again. You only lose if you quit. If you're still breathing, you still got a shot. If your heart's still beating, then there's still time on the clock. And I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how far behind you feel. I don't care who told you you'll never make it. You get one life, one chance to write your story, and no one else can finish it for you. So what are you going to do? You going to lie there and let regret bury you alive? Or are you going to get up with cracked knuckles and a bleeding heart and say, not yet. Not like this. It's not over until I win. Let the others quit. Let them play it safe. Let them lower their standards, but not you. You're built different. You're the one who stays in the storm when everyone else runs. You're the one who keeps showing up when there's no applause, no validation, no guarantees. You're the one who makes pressure your fuel. Doubt your training ground, pain your partner, because you know what's on the other side. You know what you're fighting for. And you've already decided you'll crawl, you'll bleed, you'll suffer, but you won't stop. Not until it's done. Not until it's yours. Not until the world says your name and remembers it. Not until you win. So this is it. This is the moment most people fold. But not you. You stand up, you lock in, you look life dead in the eye and say, you can hit me, you can hurt me, but you will never break me, because it's not over until I win. Finish the fight. What if this was your moment? I'm not talking about tomorrow, not someday, not maybe eventually if things go right. I'm talking about right now, this second, this pain, this pressure, this wall in front of you. It's not there to stop you. It's there to test you, to ask you a question. Do you really want it? Because let's be real, it's easy to chase your dream when you're fresh, when everything feels good, when your path is clear. It's easy to believe when the world claps for you, when they cheer your name, when everything works. But what about when it doesn't? What about when everything feels like it's falling apart, when you're losing, when you're doubting yourself? When your knees are buckling, your hands are shaking, and your heart is saying, I don't know if I can keep doing this. That's where it matters. That's where the winners are made, right there. That breaking point, that's the birthplace of greatness. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is handing you your dream. Nobody owes you a thing. You either get up and take it, or you step aside and let someone else write your story for you. So now the question is, are you going to back down? Are you going to play small? Are you going to sit in your excuses and convince yourself that maybe it's not meant to be? Or are you going to rise? Rise like a warrior who refuses to die with regret. Rise like a savage with something to prove. Rise like this is your fight, because it is. And let me be clear. This fight, it's not just about success, it's about who you become in the process. It's about becoming the man who doesn't fold under fire, the man who doesn't break when things get hard, the man who doesn't wait for permission. You want respect? Earn it. You want greatness? Bleed for it. You want that life you keep seeing in your head? Then go to war for it, because talk means nothing without action. You don't need motivation. You need a decision, a commitment, a vow that says, I don't care what it takes. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how hard it gets. I will finish this. This is your legacy. This is your name. This is your life. And every second you waste doubting it, someone else is out there working, grinding, hunting, and building the life you were too scared to fight for. Let that burn in your chest, because you've come too far to quit now. You've sacrificed too much to throw it all away. You've fought through too many battles to back down before the war is over. You didn't survive all that pain just to stop here. You didn't cry in the dark, bleed behind the scenes, hustle in silence, just to come halfway. No, you finish what you started. And I'm not talking about finishing it when it's easy. I'm not talking about finishing it when everything goes right. I'm talking about finishing it when you're dead tired, when you're out of breath, when no one believes in you, when your mind says, just give up, and you say back, not today. That's the mindset, the killer instinct, the unshakable fire, the masculine force that says, I'll die before I quit. I'll lose 1,000 times, but I will rise 1,001. They can doubt you. They can mock you. They can talk down to you. Let them, because soon they won't be able to say anything at all. You won't need to clap back. You won't need to explain. You'll just win. You'll just dominate. You'll just finish the damn fight. Because real men don't talk their way to victory. They earn it in sweat, in discipline, in silence, in sacrifice, in the hours no one sees. So don't let off the gas. Don't let weakness win. Don't let the temporary pain of the moment make you forget the permanent victory that's waiting on the other side. This is it. This is the line in the sand where boys fold and men finish. So stand tall, clench your fists, lock in your purpose, and repeat after me, I'm not done. I'm not finished. I will not stop until I win. This is your time. This is your war. Finish the fight. Listen. If you're still here, if you watch this all the way through, I know one thing for sure. You're built different. You've got that fire most people don't. You're not here to quit. You're here to win. So before you go, do me a favor. Like this video if it lit something inside you. Subscribe if you're on this journey of leveling up. And comment the words, I will win, down below to affirm it. Let the world know you don't back down. You don't fold. You finish the fight. Because this is just the beginning. And like I told you, it's not over until you win. Let's get it.